여러분 안녕하세요. 지니 선생님입니다. A new school year, huh? Excited? I am very excited to have you in this virtual class. When a new school starts, you meet new friends and sometimes a new classmate enrolls a few days later. We will see this situation. Take a look at the dialogue.
여러분 안녕하세요. 오늘은 새로운 학생을 한 명 소개할게요. 이름을 말해주시겠어요?
제 이름은 마이클입니다. 만나서 반가워요.
마이클, 자기소개를 좀 더 해주세요.
네, 저는 미네소타에 살았어요. 지난달에 이곳으로 이사 왔어요. 한국말을 잘 못해서 한국말을 배우려고 해요.
마이클도 여러분처럼 한국말을 잘하려고 한국어를 택했어요. 친하게 지내도록 하세요.
여러분 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 폴린이에요. 저는 미국에서 태어났어요. 지금은 10학년이에요. 저는 한국 문화를 좋아해요. 그래서 한국말을 배우려고 해요. 한국말을 배워서 한국 남자친구와 한국말을 잘하도록 할 거예요. 나는 노래를 좋아해요. 그래서 한국 노래방에도 많이 가요. 여러분이 많이 도와주세요. 제 전화번호도 줄게요. 같이 전화해요. 제 전화번호는 213-123-4567이에요. 우리 서로 재미있게 지내도록 해요.
Okay, we are going to learn several components used in the dialogue. First of all, the particle 도. We know the usage of particles. They are supposed to be attached to the noun without a space, and depending on how the noun is used in a sentence, different particles should be used. We saw several different particles like 이/가, 은/는, 을/를, 에서, 에게, 에게서, 부터, 까지, and etc. I will add several today. They are 도, 보다, 처럼, 이, or 이나, and 만. First, let's start with the particle 도. 도 is used to include another noun and is most used to emphasize the second noun. For example, you know that Paul is smart, but Grace is also smart. Then you will say, 폴이 똑똑해요. 그레이스도 똑똑해요. If you want to say that Paul is doing well in mathematics and he's also doing well in Korean, then you say, 폴이 수학을 잘해요. 한국어도 잘해요. The next particle is used to compare the two nouns. It is 보다. If you want to say, drink water instead of coffee, then you will say, 커피보다 물을 마시세요. You have to add the particle 보다 to the noun that you compare. There was a famous Korean drama called 꽃보다 남자. What does that mean? That means a man instead of flower. Also, be sure to place the noun with the particle 보다 in front of the other noun. If you want to say that I like Paul more than Michael, then you can say 나는 마이클보다 폴을 좋아해요. You can add an adverb, 더, to make your meaning clearer if needed. And don't forget that the best place to have an adverb is in front of the verb. The next particle is also to compare, but this time, instead of as a preference or a choice, it is to be like. For example, you want to say that I am diligent like my mom. Like my mom is 엄마처럼 in Korean. You want to play basketball well like LeBron James? Then you say 나는 르브론처럼 농구를 잘하고 싶어요. If you want to say I want to speak Korean well like the Korean teacher, then you say 나는 한국어 선생님처럼 한국말을 잘하고 싶어요. The other is either or. For example, you want to say either today or tomorrow, then you add 이 or 이나 in front of the first noun, which is today. Therefore, it is 오늘이나 내일. Notice that, depending on the final consonant of the last letter of the noun, you have to use either 이나 or simply 나. If you want to say, because we are thirsty, let's drink tea or water, then you say, 목이 마려우니까 차나 물을 마십시다. The last particle is 만. 만 means only. So when you want to say the noun only for some reason, you add 만 after the noun. For example, you want to play with your friends only for today. Then you will say 오늘만, which means today only. If you want to say, I only speak Korean in class, then you say, 나는 교실에서 한국말만 해요. If you want to confess your love to your loved one, you can say, 나는 너만 사랑해. So to add more particles to the ones that we learned in level 1, they are as follows. 도. This is to include the noun like 나는 한국말도 잘해요, meaning I also speak Korean well. 보다. This is used to compare. You need to add 보다 to the noun that you are comparing, and it should be placed in front of the other noun. For example, I like basketball instead of soccer. You say, 나는 축구보다 농구를 더 좋아해요. 처럼. This is used to indicate the speaker is to do or to be like the noun. For example, if you want to be like your dad, you say, 나는 아빠처럼 될 거예요. Say that to your dad, then your dad will be very happy to hear that, especially in Korean. 나 or 이나. This is to give a choice. It is either or. If you want to say that you are going to play either soccer or basketball tomorrow, then you say, 나는 내일 축구나 농구를 할 거예요. 만. This is to give the meaning only. You only drink water, no soda, no tea. Then you say, 나는 물만 마셔요. Those additional particles are very useful to expand our expression in Korean. So remember, 도, 보다, 처럼, 나 or 이나, and 만. Now, we're going to look at several expressions. First of all, something 해 주세요. This expression is used when the speaker wants to or wants to ask for something to the listener. So when you say, please answer, you can say, 대답해 주세요. We know that we can use something 으세요 as a command, but this something 해 주세요 is a lot more politer way to ask for something to the other party. Maybe I can ask you to do your homework saying, 숙제해 주세요. Yes, I will use a polite way to ask for it. But if you don't do your homework and if I'm angry, I may say, 숙제하세요. See the difference between 해 주세요 and 으세요. 앉아 주세요. 앉으세요. 책을 읽어 주세요. 책을 읽으세요. 조용히 해 주세요. 조용히 하세요. So when you use a command or ask for a favor, instead of a direct command, something 으세요, 해 주세요 form is politer and better. The next expression is something 으려고. This something 으려고 form is used to indicate the speaker's purpose. For example, when you go to the library, there must be a reason, right? Let's say you're going to the library to study. Then, to study is 공부하다 in Korean. And after dropping 다, 공부하 is the verb stem. 공부하 plus 려고 becomes 공부하려고. Therefore, you can say 나는 공부하려고 도서관에 가요. Let's say your parents are going to the mall to buy clothes. The reason your parents are going to the mall is to buy clothes. Therefore, buying is the purpose. So we're going to use the word 사다 in Korean. So adding 사다 and something 으려고 becomes 사려고. Then the entire sentence will be like this. 우리 부모님이 옷을 사려고 몰에 가요. Now more examples right here. To eat. 먹다 plus 으려고 becomes 먹으려고. Therefore, 한국 음식을 먹으려고 한국 식당에 갈 거예요. To wake up early. 일찍 일어나다 plus 으려고. Therefore, 일찍 일어나려고. So you can say 내일 일찍 일어나려고 일찍 잘 거예요. To speak Korean well. 한국말을 잘 하다 plus 으려고. 한국말을 잘 하려고. Therefore, 한국말을 잘 하려고 한국어를 배워요. The next expression that we're going to study is something 아서, 어서, 해서. This expression has two functions. The first one is because of. That means it is used to explain the reason why, or the cause of the effect, or the basis of the consequence. For example, from the dialogue, the reason why the new student wants to learn Korean is that he does not speak Korean well. Not speaking Korean well is his reason for taking the Korean class. Original verb form of not speaking Korean well is 한국말을 잘 못하다. Since 하다 is the verb of the phrase, 하다 should be replaced with 해요. Then it becomes 한국말을 잘 못해서. The complete sentence becomes 저는 한국말을 잘 못해서 한국말을 배우려고 해요. When you use something 아서, 어서, 해서 form, the verb stem will always be used in front of the 아서, 어서, 해서. Let's say you woke up late. Why? There must be a reason, right? Then you can use this expression to explain the reason why you woke up late. Therefore, you woke up late because you slept late last night. You will say, 어제 늦게 자서 늦게 일어났어요. Notice that 자다 is used and it's combined with 아서 because the vowel a is used. One thing that I want to point out is that in Korean, always the main verb comes last. So don't say 늦게 일어났어요, 늦게 자서. The main verb is 일어났어요, and it should be used last. Also, notice that the verb stem 자 of the Korean verb 자다 is used, although it is the past tense. Remember, this expression is always used with a verb stem. Another function of the expression something 아서, 어서, 해서 form is to have several actions taking place one after another. For example, you wake up in the morning and go to school. Wake up is one action, and go to school is another action taking place one after another. Then you're going to say, 나는 아침에 일어나서 학교에 갔어요. Let's say you went to a mall and bought clothes. Then, 나는 몰에 가서 옷을 샀어요. Easy to use, huh? Take a look at some examples now. 나는 학교가 끝나서 집에 갔어요. I finished school and went home. 나는 밥을 먹고 이를 닦았어요. I ate and brushed my teeth. The last expression of today's lesson is something 도록 하다. This something 도록 하다 is used as a meaning of in order to something, in an imperative mood. Like in the dialogue, the teacher asks the class to get along with a new student. Then, 친하게 지내다 is to get along. Adding 도록 하다 to the verb stem, it becomes 친하게 지내도록 하세요. Of course, you can simply say 친하게 지내세요, but this 도록 하다 has a meaning of please included. So this expression is more polite. Take a look at some examples. Study more. 공부 더 하세요. Therefore, 공부 더 하도록 하세요. Wake up early. 일찍 일어나세요. 일찍 일어나도록 하세요. Play less. 덜 노세요. 덜 놀도록 하세요. 놀다 is a real irregular verb. Dad, please drink less. 아빠, 술을 덜 마시세요. 아빠, 술을 덜 마시도록 하세요. In this lesson, we talked about several items. Let's review them. First, we talked about the particle 도. It is used to include or to emphasize. For example, you can say 나는 노래방에 가요, but 나는 노래방에도 가요 emphasizes that I even go to the 노래방. We also talked about 해 주세요 when a speaker asks for something in a polite way. As you hear 일찍 와 주세요, 신발을 벗어 주세요, 조용히 해 주세요. Koreans use this expression quite a bit when they ask for something. The next expression was 으려고. This is used to indicate the purpose of the main verb. For example, if a speaker goes to a restaurant, there must be a purpose. Then, use this expression like 한국 음식을 먹으려고 한국 식당에 가요. Or 학교에 늦지 않으려고 일찍 일어났어요. The third expression was something 어서 해서. It has two functions. One is to express the reason why, and the other is to tell one action after another. The last expression was something 도록 하다. It is used in an imperative sentence to give a command or to ask for a favor in a more polite way. 다음 시간에 만나요.